Okay, welcome to another episode of Monday Night Laundry Darkroom Sessions. It's Monday night. I'm starting a little bit earlier than normal. The negative that we're going to do today is this guy right here. And I'm going to print him 8 inches by 12 inches on an 11 by 14 sheet of paper. So how we're going to do this, I don't have an easel that can actually print that big, but one thing that I do or have done, still do, is there's this company called American Frame here in the US that will cut mat board to pretty much any size you want. So what I have them do is cut a nice piece of 11 by 14 mat board with a crisp 8 by 12 inch hole in the middle, and I tape one side down, and then I use these fencing post straps when I go to make the print to hold down the edges, like so. And it works very, very well, and you can basically get it like that once the paper's in, and then you make your exposure, and away you go. These are relatively heavy. They're super cheap. I think they're $1 a piece down at your local hardware store or farming supply store. It's just basically a fence mending post strap. What does it say? Let me zoom in here. I even left the labels on it. There you go. There you go. That's what it's called. It's a mending, whatever it is. But that's essentially what I use. Now the downside to this is you can't tape down the downside is these are somewhat disposable, and you can't really tape it down until you get it positioned. So I've changed out the lens. Since I'm making a somewhat larger print, I've changed out the lens to my Nikkor 50mm lens. It opens up to f2.8, and we're going to use the 35mm mask. And once we have that, we'll basically get this positioned. Once I get everything loaded up in the carrier holder, and then I've got Ilford 11 by 14. It's the old multi-grade 4. I've still got a box that I'm working through trying to get finished. So hopefully here, there's like 10 or 15 sheets left. It's a 50 sheet box, or a box of 50 sheets. So hopefully we'll get that worked out, and then we'll go from there. So this will be, I might do one of the other ones large like that too, but we're going to start with that one negative and then go from there. So let me get the mask, let me get the negative loaded and the mask. We'll get our composition, everything focused, and then I'll come back. Okay, so there it is. Now you'll notice, right along here, we're basically the frame of the image itself is right outside. See that? It's right outside of where the mask is. So you basically position the mask to where you're just have the ever so slightest amount of overlap. And now you have yourself an 8 by 12 photo on an 11 by 14 sheet. The beauty, because this mask is 11 by 14, the paper fits exactly underneath it. So once I get it taped down, and what we use for that is, see if I can get the, we use blue painter's tape. And we just tape down the top edge here to the baseboard. Once we get this positioned and we're happy with the way it looks, we initially just do attach a little bit right there and just make sure that we're exactly the way we want it to be. Not taped down just yet. Just do our final positioning, and then tack it down. And then what we do is we do it for the whole length. So, and the blue painter's tape just makes it easy to clean up. It holds it down sufficiently. And just makes life so much easier, just like that. And then often what I'll do is I'll lift this up and I'll put just a little bit of painter's tape there. So what that allows me to do is I can really push the paper in there, and I basically just take the tape and I fold it along the length like that, and I just stick it right in there in the corner, just like that. And that way I can slide the paper in and just push it all the way up in there, and I don't have to worry about it getting stuck on this painter's tape or coming loose or anything like that. And then also, oftentimes, just to make it easy to lift up, I'll just take a little slice of it, or a little sliver of tape like this, and I'll put it here on the bottom of the easel and just make a little tab that makes it easy to grab to lift the easel up like that. And there you go. Homemade easel, custom made for 8 by 12 inch prints on an 11 by 14 sheet of paper. You can do this for any paper size. It makes it super easy, and you just use the baseboard as it is. It's really that simple and straightforward. So from here, it's just a matter of working out our exposure times, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we have a test strip, 2.5 seconds per. So we've got 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, 20. And in all honesty, 20 seconds looks about right. We're on a grade 1 filter. So we have a grade 1, there we go, grade 1 filter. And we're at F8. So we can open this bad boy up to F5.6 and do 10 seconds. And I think we'll be pretty close. We might end up doing a little bit more, maybe bumping up to a grade 2. But yeah, this is good. This is really good. So I'll do a full print at 10 seconds at f5.6, and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, very nice. Just looking at it, it was a foggy day, so we had a fair amount of fog going on. So I'm not expecting a huge amount of contrast, but this is on a grade 1. I may do a grade, keep everything the same, and just do a grade 2 to see if that makes any difference. But you know, this really works nicely doing the mask like what we've got here with the straps that hold it down, because if you look, I mean, that makes for, let me get this as close as I can, a really crisp edge. I mean, that's a very crisp edge, which is what we want. You know, I mean, that's what we want, is a really, really crisp edge. So I'll probably do one more. Grade 1 might be too much. Maybe 1.5. I'll do a grade 1. I'll do a grade 2, and if it's too much contrast, then I'll just split the difference and do a grade 1.5. But yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so we started off with the test strip. We ended up at f8 for 10 seconds with grade 1. I took a look at it and was like, I think we can do better. Let me get this adjusted here real quick. I somehow managed to droop a bit. There we go. So we started off 10 seconds f8 with grade 1. It's not a bad print, but I decided to go to 12 seconds in a grade 2. That's not bad. We're losing our shadow into the black border. There's no detail here in the trees at all. Meh, really meh. So then I went back to 10 seconds with a grade 1.5. And that's the final print. 10 seconds at grade 1.5. This is great here. We got plenty of detail in here. The sky also has lots of tone and detail in it. All in all, this is the final print. So that's this episode of Laundry Room Darkroom. And I will see all of you on the next episode next week.